Hi everyone, this is Gloria, and I'm here with you guys today. You're in a prayer session with me right now, and we're going to be praying for some people. But in the meantime, we're going to wait just a second for people to join in with us. And really excited about you guys being here. We come on here each week. You got to check the schedule because I'm on different times according to my work schedule. So sometimes it might be a different day. So check in, see what the schedule is like, and then join in with us. I usually put the schedule up about a week before, like I'll know my work schedule and then I'll have it up. Right now we're on Wednesday nights and Monday afternoons at about 1 p.m. For those people that you're at home or you're at work on lunch break and you want to tune in, then I'll stream in right about that time so you guys can pop in with us. And so right now I'm just kind of looking for this live stream, making sure that we are going live okay. Let's check and do my checks. Let's see, I want to make sure that I'm good over here. Let's see. Let's see. We're good. I'm live over there. Okay. I'm live on YouTube, and I should be live on Heart of the City, and then a couple other places that I'm sharing into right now. But I actually love the Word of God, but I also like to check out other things that people do and why they do them. And one of the things that I have been really curious about, which I practice, is breathing. Breathing is so important. And lately at work, I've been going through some things that are, pretty stressful and really kind of out of my control. And so I have really been pressing in and sharing it with a friend, actually just one friend. If she's hearing this, she knows who she is. Um, and she has been praying. And so I believe, in a prayer partner. And honestly, it doesn't have to be some long, drawn out, theatrical prayer session. God moves, he moves however he feels like it, basically. But he loves you and me, and he wants to hear from you. Um, I call on her, we pray together. Sometimes it's just a text message that she says, I prayed for this or that. And honestly, we've been agreeing together, and the Lord has been really kind of answering these prayers or giving me the wisdom to navigate the situations at hand. And also at the same time, I've been practicing some breathing techniques as well. And when I do this, when I start my prayer sessions with you guys, I tell you to take a breath, right? Breathe in through your nose. First, let's breathe some air out there because I've been talking, and I share with you guys to breathe in through your nose. And then breathe out through your mouth. And, really, when you're doing this, just let your shoulders drop, let your body, feel your body just relax. Really, uh, this is not like a something weird or anything. This is a true thing. And practicing your breathing is really pretty good for you. Um, and it's not of the devil or anything like that. Just so you know, I do get people that freak out. Um, but, and I wouldn't be doing that if that was the case. Trust me. I don't think most people wouldn't be doing that if that was the case. But what we do find is that it is helpful. It's helpful along with prayer. Also in your praying, you're practicing your breathing. And you're allowing your, all of your stress and all of your worries and things to be carried by God, right? He is the ultimate provider. He is the ultimate carrier of our stresses and things. And so we really need to learn to give all of that to him. Um, as we come in here and we're bringing all kinds of stuff from the day with us. We're bringing a lot of, situations that happen at work with our bosses, with coworkers, and just, things. I work alongside of emergency services. I also work alongside of LVNs and nurses and bosses and CEOs and people like that. And a lot of times they are stressed, highly stressed. And um, I'm just sharing this out real quick. And they bring it to work. And so sometimes what happens is that their energy or whatever they're dealing with, they put it on you, and now you're engaged in this dance of stress, right? So here's something that I want you to understand is this, and this is just practical help, okay? And Jesus demonstrated this when he was dealing with Peter at one point, okay? Peter, was this kind of guy. He really wanted to do the right thing, but he was really doing it all wrong. You ever been there, done that? I'm one of those people. Like, I'm like a Peter, right? I really want to do the right thing, and a lot of times I'm doing it all wrong. And so what he did was he was in a situation where some people came to him, and I've got to share these stories out correctly. I'm just sharing it out of my own words. If you know me, you're probably gonna know I'm like I do that. But homeboy went up there, and this is just imagine that this is you and your pastor or something like that, right? And you're like, you've been in the street fights before. You make your money. Peter knew how to make money. He was a professional fisherman. He knew how to make money. He knew how to provide. He knew how to work hard. He also carried a weapon, so he knew how to use that weapon. And so here he is. He's walking along, and some people come up and they're like, "Oh, you're that guy." And they're kind of like addressing Jesus in this situation, right? And Peter rises up, and he's like, he wants to defend Jesus, right? So he like he like whips out his sword from out of nowhere, who knows where. Obviously he carries a weapon, and he cuts off someone's ear, right? And Jesus calmly says, Peter, like, chill out, dude, chill out. Because basically, if Jesus was saying it in our words today, he probably was saying something like, dude, chill out. This is not the time nor place for that. Like, check your ego right now, right? Because you're not going to make it. It's not the time yet for any of this stuff. And Jesus picks up this ear and he puts it back on, and this guy's like miraculously healed, right? After his ear's been chopped off. um, and he just calmly does this, right? So he's very, kind of very compliant, and he uses his words instead of his fight or flight part of his body language, right? So, Peter's just like, who knows what Peter might have been feeling like, right? In this moment, I don't know what he might have been feeling like. But just imagine what you would be feeling like if that was you, right? You'd be like confused, like, what in the what? Wait, what? But what Jesus was demonstrating when he was trying to share was that there is a time and a place for everything, right? And in this moment, violence wasn't going to serve its purpose correctly, and it wasn't the time for any of that. So Jesus is demonstrating a lot in this situation, and so in what I'm trying to say here is staying calm, right? Because what would have happened if everybody would have escalated in this moment? Because that's basically what Peter did. He was moved with his emotions, and he let his emotions get the best of him, and he engaged at the equal amount of energy as the other people were dishing out, right? So those two equal energies amount to just a bomb with no purpose. So in the effect of what Jesus wanted in our lives is purpose. Every single thing that we do has purpose, timing and purpose, okay? And so a lot of times, we're on the job and somebody comes at us and they're just like in this energy that is not toxic energy, and you're just taken back. And I'm on a job where a lot of times nurses are so stressed out that they have no calm. They're just in pure post-traumatic stress disorder, right? Just in pure stress, and it comes at you in all different types, ways, and forms, right? So I'm learning to navigate all of this, right? And I get the brunt of it. So that's in the line of work that I do, I get the brunt of it. So I'm learning to divert the energy that is coming at me, and for one, being prayed up. That's one thing. Knowing how to respond in that mode, and then not becoming a part of this stress coming at me, right? But being the person that is the kind of the person that maybe even absorbs it, and then reprocesses it and then brings it back out in a different way. So a lot of that has to do with the tone in my voice, my expressions on my face, my body language, right? So I'm very people misread me a lot of times, right? A lot of times I'm misunderstood all the time. all the time. Um, so they don't know what ethnicity I am. They don't know, where I'm coming from. They don't know, what culture I am, because I was in England for so long. I lost a lot of my culture from San Diego, gaining it back a little bit. But there's so many dynamics to that. So learning how to navigate in these situations, that has to do with a lot of knowing your word, looking at the example that Jesus gave us. There was only really one time that Jesus really demonstrated some like real rage. Like uh, it was when uh, and he only demonstrated within the realm of when he was in his father's house, the church, a church building or whatever, or the temple. Um, and people turned it into like a marketplace, or here in San Diego we say swap meet, or like the produce market, or like uh, what other thing do we call it? We call it well, kind of like the swap meet. Um, the farmers market is what we call it here. We love to call it the farmers market. Um, in England, they just say the market. But it's like basically a swap meet. And so he he's seen this going on, and he was so mad that he flipped over a table. I don't know how many tables he's flipped over, but a carpenter was sharing with me that those tables weren't just little light tables. They were really, really heavy. You had to be either really angry or really strong to flip those over. And so I think he was demonstrating both. And um, I think as we watch his life, we see him navigate all the different things that he would have to navigate as someone human, as God in a human body, right? Dealing with and feeling every single thing that we feel and go through. And then, the times and discussions where he sat around with his disciples, and what did they talk about, and how did they pray, and things like that. And some of his disappointments where he was in prayer and they fell asleep. And this was when he was, at his worst time, when he was going to get ready to die. Imagine he knew his death was coming. And they all fell asleep because they were, tired and hungry probably. But, they showing all these different things. Imagine how disappointed he might have been, right? And we learn how to kind of deal with our emotions through watching Jesus's life, as we read our Bible, as we read kind of the emotions and things in the setting of what took place, right? Even as far as like hanging out, how did they hang out with each other, right? Because one time Jesus did actually turn some things into wine, some water into wine. That was one of the first miracles he really performed. So, he was about having a good time and connecting, because that was a part of that, turning that um, the water into wine, was a part of culture, and it was a part of connecting. And so, I don't drink alcohol really, but I have gone to England and sat with someone, sat with really wealthy people who will have a glass of wine, and I will have the glass and I'll have a sip, but that's all, because I don't drink it. I don't really like it. But you know, and it's just to connect with the culture of a conversation or whatever. But I in this case, this is what Jesus demonstrated. He did demonstrate that. But you know, he also demonstrated many different things. You know, he demonstrated so many things all the way to his death. He demonstrated what our lives should look like, right? Now, can we live up to that? Probably not. You know, um, but what he's saying to us and what he's shown us is that he finished it. Even though we couldn't live up to that, we were the ones sleeping when he was going to the cross. We were the ones cutting off the ear, you know, abruptly. Our emotions got the best of us, right? We're the ones denying him. Or, you know, who, that guy? No, I don't know him, right? Or you know, you're with your friends and they want to, you know, they're talking about this or that, and you know, you're the odd one out, and you're just like, yeah, I don't really want to share what I really believe, you know. Um, but you know, it happens. That's our humanity that does that, right? Um, but Jesus still went to the cross. He still went to the cross, and he shed his blood, and he shed it because we do that. And when he did die and rise again, which is going to be demonstrated, you know, through, you're going to be hearing stories of Easter and Lent and all these things. Um, he went to the cross and it was done, finished. There's nothing else that we can do. We can't be, you know, really good. We can't like behave ourselves to the best or follow all the 10 commandments perfectly, right? That's not what gives us salvation, right? If it would give us salvation, we wouldn't need a Jesus, basically. um, we would just be living by the 10 commandments, and no one could do that, and no one would be able to go to heaven. No one. Um, in fact, it would be so bad that you would have, in order for you to even connect with God, you would have to be, they used to tie the priest up, tie his foot with a rope, because if he wasn't holy, you would know, because he's going to drop dead just like that when he entered the prayer room, right? And then they would have to pull him out, and they would be like, "Yeah, he got found out," because he was gone. Now we can just come to God, and we can just pray, and we can be in communion with Him and fellowship with Him, and um, you know, just direct now. Thanks to what Jesus demonstrated on the cross, right? So I'm so grateful. I'm ever so grateful to all of the things that we get to be through Jesus. And so I want to uh, lift up. I've been praying for a lot of different people. I'm praying for, always praying for those, some people just with cancer and things, and I'm just, you know, um, lifting those things up. You know, God, He's, sometimes we just have this thorn in our flesh that makes us have to have immense faith, you know. um, I don't have the answers to that. Many of us are not going to have the answers to that. um, you know, uh, and I have to just leave it in the hands of God and trust that He's working it out, and He is a healer, because I've seen healing, you know. That I have no doubt, you know. But why some people get healed, others don't, I don't know. I don't have the answers. You know, why good men, women end up with illnesses like that, I don't know. I mean, obviously, Paul had an issue that it was a thorn. The Bible called it a thorn in his flesh. We don't know exactly what that was. Could have been a sickness. It could have been, you know, family member. Who knows? I don't know. Um, but sometimes there's just situations that's just gonna have to, you're gonna live with that. That's what you're gonna live with. I don't know why they happen like that. Um, but God does, and He will work it out. And you have to leave people to make their decisions. I can't control people and their decisions. They make their decisions. They will be who they want to be. Um, and I can't control that. But what I can control is my choices and what I choose to do, uh, and who I choose to become, and live and live. Otherwise, why would I want to live, right? If you live a life where you just dwell on someone who has hurt you so bad, broke your heart, people who have ditched you or abandoned you because they think that you're not, quote, the person you should be, you're not the best parent, or you're not the best grandparent, or you're not, the thing that they require you to be. Okay. um, well, this is going to be hard for you to hear probably, because I or you are not built to be that you require us to be. Okay. We are required to be what it is that God is wanting us to be. That's it. That's the only person we need to please. Okay. Well, all the other things that they happen along the way in life or whatever, they happen. It happens to the best of us. It's happened to some of the best people that I know. Why? Why do they? Why? Why does one person have to deal with certain situations, right? Such as sicknesses and things, right? And another person doesn't, okay? Or it looks like they've done so well because they got this big, massive church. Well, I know very popular people, quite a few of them, massive churches. Everything looks awesome on the outside, but their children have committed suicide. Okay? Others seemed like they were wonderful. Everybody wanted to be in their presence. And now they've done wrong and now are exposed, famous, and now people are like gutted, right? But they choose to either single someone out, like single you out or single whoever out, choosing you to be the one that they target, that you should have lived right? So you can't be my friend because you should have lived right. But yet, this popular person that you followed and everything else, you're like, oh, but I loved them. Those poor people. Let's pray for them, right? Why do people do that? I don't know. I don't have the answers, but it happens. So, what you need to do is you need to gather your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, and your life, and you need to live for God. Okay? And that's all that you can do. And you just put one foot in front of the other, and you just keep living, and you just keep living, and you just keep living and going and living. Okay? Um, I mean, I have situations that will blow your mind right now. Um, craziness, nonsense, things that happen. Uh, and I know some of the best people, and I know some of the worst people. So I I don't judge either way. I allow some people to be in my life, and others not. And that's just my choice. And so it is yours as well. And you can make those choices to do that. And they will not be taken away from you. But I will guarantee you 100%, because they are your choices, you will also have regrets in those choices. They are yours, and no one can, you have no one to blame in the future, okay? You have no one to blame in the future when you make them. So they need to be yours 100%. But if it goes wrong, which it will, you will have to live with that. So those are things that we all have to live with. No one is exempt from them. We're given the ability to make choices. Sometimes we will choose to sin, and other times we will choose to not and live for God, right? But they're the choices that we will have. They're ours. We have to live with them. So does it exempt us from stuff? Some people might think it does, but I don't think that God thinks that it does. And people make their choices in that too, where they say they're like, oh, bring them back. They build good churches, or no, get rid of them. Uh, there used to be this famous singer back in the 80s when I first got saved, and she she was a very famous singer, and she went through a divorce, and it was very, very public. And I heard some of the most people that I looked up to the most just tear this woman up. And I was gutted. I thought, why would anyone do that? Why is that so, like, that's so mean? It was people that I can't say who it is, but just people that to this day are major leaders in what they do, and they were so mean to this famous person. They preached about it and all kinds of stuff. And I was like, leave the poor lady alone. My goodness gracious, let her go through her thing, right? And now she talks about it. She wrote a book about it, and she wrote how this made her feel, right? One minute she has fans all over the world, and the next minute she has haters all over the world. No one goes into a relationship, whether it be a married relationship or children, grandchildren, parents with children and things, families. No one goes into this going, well, I'm gonna go this far, become this famous, and I'm gonna leave them. Nobody does that. Things happen along the way. Humanity happens along the way. People make choices that are stupid, and things just happen. We don't know that it's going to happen, but it just happens, and we find ourselves, in a place where we're making really bad decisions, right? And so it could happen to anyone, and if you're not careful, it could happen to you. And yeah, so I when I just couldn't. When I seen these famous, not famous people, but people that I looked up to for many years be so mean and cruel to someone like that. I just was like, I don't like that. I really don't like that. You know, out of all the amazing things that this person can do and preach, I don't like that, you know, and it's not acceptable. You know, and other people just kind of brushes and or agreed with these people, right? Um, so it happens. It happens all over the place. So the choice is yours though. Okay, whether you agreed with someone or didn't agree or whatever, it's your choice. You have to live with it. That person who was mean, they have to live with it. And if you joined in on that meanness together with them, you have to live with that. You cannot blame them. Okay, they're your choices, your adult choices. So yeah, um, those are things that I pray for all the time, and I pray for all my friends who follow me here. Um, you know, I pray, you know, over people that they will have the wisdom to make um, good, strong, courageous choices. Right? We need more strong, courageous leaders, people who will stand up for the weak and not just watch some strong leader bash someone, you know. And I don't like, if there's anything I cannot stand, and I'm venting right now, this is a choice I'm making for you to hear. I do not like preachers to get up on stage and start bashing someone who is living a homosexual lifestyle, okay? Or using their body language, that they think that they stereotype this body language, you know, and that they start to mimic this body language of someone who has chosen to live a homosexual lifestyle. I don't like that. You know, I don't think that people, there's a lot that goes into that, okay? A lot that goes into that. And um, I think that a lot of love is required, a lot of being secure with who you are is required. And I don't think that this lifestyle rubs off on you. That would be discrimination. I don't agree with it being influenced to a child, because a child is very influential. And I believe that parents should protect their children. If from any kind of influence, I don't care what the influence is, whatever the influence is, you know, I think that parents are the protectors. You know, the same goes with someone who's divorced, okay? If you're married and you hang out with someone who is divorced, it's not going to rub off on you. If it does, then you must be in a bad place already, okay? Um, and you should be getting probably professional counseling if you're in that place. If anybody should be the influencer, it should be you. You know, I don't think that people should be that easily influenced, that you think that if you hang out with someone who's divorced, you're going to get divorced. I mean, you know, come on. If you're a child, maybe, but if you're an adult, a grown adult person, I don't think that that is going to happen. That's discrimination, actually. Um, but God, I hear what people are saying when they say that, but in the way that they say it, it is discrimination. What I understand is that they, you know, they're trying to say that, you know, if you hang out with someone, you're gonna you're influencing each other, right? But I don't honestly, don't see how that can influence someone to hang out with someone who's divorced and then you want to get a divorce, right? Unless you're actually talking about these things as in like, yeah, leave them. Yeah, leave them. But who's going to sit there and listen to that, right? So um, I'm praying for God to just help all of us, help humanity, um, help me to navigate, situations that are difficult, and for God to help you in your everyday life, you guys. I'm praying for that. Okay. I love you guys, and you can reach out to me. You must know what I do by now. I am a Christian leader. Okay. I operate as a pastor. I am the leader of a nonprofit called Heart of the City, San Diego, which is you're streaming onto right now. And I am a chaplain, trained and certified by one of the top chaplain trainers. I get to be under one of the top chaplain trainers, I think, you know, um, and others that I like, and want to be more part of other chaplains in England, uh, who I like very, very much and want to be a part of. And so I, I operate in so many things. Whether you think I can or not is not up to you. um, so, uh, but I do. This is what I do. And I stream live, and I have my show here, my online weekly show here, and I podcasts. I do a podcast where I interview amazing people. I've already interviewed a lot of amazing people, but I I'm picky about who I'm interviewing nowadays, because I've had some people want me to interview them, um, but and it all went well. I had some pretty cool people, um, and but I'm kind of picky about who I want on the show, to give some good quality, a good quality message to people watching. And so, you know, uh, I thank God that many of the people have been had a great message to share about their life and how they've overcome really big obstacles and things like that. Um, and so, with that said, I just pray, Lord, bless your people, keep them safe, Lord, and I just pray for continued wisdom throughout the rest of this time. And I wonder if you're giving up anything for Lent. Um, you know, I wonder if that's a struggle for you. Um, you know, I it is a big deal to worship the Lord. It is a big deal to um, I don't want you to give things up as a kind of a going through the motions type thing. But because if that's the thing, if it's like tradition or something, a ritual, um, it doesn't mean much. But if it's coming from your heart, genuine, um, that's a big deal. Thinking about who God is, thinking about His Son Jesus, um, thinking about um, creation, going back and reading um, places of the Bible like Genesis, up to the book of Acts as well. And just reading certain places that really kind of show Jesus' humanity, but also show the magnitude of who God is and how much he loves you and me, that we need to pay attention to that. I think it's important. I don't care who you are, where you come from, or what you do, or what you believe. I think most people believe that God exists. Okay, I think a lot of people are very hurt in their humanity, um, and very confused in their humanity. Okay, and they've just chosen to just give into what feels comfortable to them, because out of their brokenness. That's what I think. Um, and that's just from working with people time and time again and hearing their stories, from someone homosexual to someone who's had multiple abortions. Uh, you know, uh, Hearing the horror stories, um, and grieving with them, and it chokes me up. And that's a very difficult place to be in if someone is hurt, very, very hurt. And so it could be anybody, anyone. Um, why do you think people backslide? Where do you think that comes from? Do you think that they just decide, oh, I just want to not be saved anymore, just want to not serve God? No, of course they want to serve God. Of course they love God. People who have served the Lord for a long time, and now suddenly they're living a lifestyle that's not in accordance to, what they believe, right? Why do you think they do that? Hurt, really deep hurt that you probably cannot understand. That's where that comes from. They want to get it. They want to run from it, numb it, however way they can. And it's coming out in not so good ways. Okay. We need to have grace and mercy and pray for people. Where are you guys at? Where are my prayer warriors at? Where are the people that really love people? Where are you? I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to go. Bye.